A little more than 2 hours ago, jurors in the Corrine Brown corruption trial reached a verdict guilty on 18 of 22 counts. Tom is here with Congressman Ron DeSantis and local attorney Gene Nichols to talk about this historic verdict.
Kent, thank you very much, and thank both of you for being here with us. Gene, for all the legal insight that you've been giving us here throughout the day. And I want to start with 6th District Republican Congressman Ron DeSantis. Tell us your reaction to the outcome of this trial.
Well, I'll tell you, after reading the indictment when that came out,
you were talking about it back
those many months ago, and I've actually served a short stint in that office, and I read through those allegations, and she was in trouble. I mean, the way you structure that indictment when you have these fraudulent transactions and you're listing them there, I thought that she was going to have a huge uphill battle to overcome it. So I'm not surprised that it happened, just knowing all that goes into a case like that. And obviously, I mean, it's a sad day when you have someone who's been in public service be found to have used that position for personal gain.
You worked with her on Capitol Hill. You've been there since 2013. How well did you get to know her?
You know, we tended to disagree on the big issues, the national issues, but we did agree on working things locally. We worked along with Andrew Crenshaw on Jacksport, and we both wanted to bring Carrier to Mayport. We're still working on doing that under the Trump administration. Hopefully we can do it. So there actually were times, and you know what, when she agreed with you, it's actually a good ally to have. She was tough.
How about the pension question? Ask that question.
Well, and we were talking earlier, Congressman, obviously she had been in Congress for a long time and collected a salary, and we now know that with convictions like this, especially with the IRS and the tax fraud and the failing to report to the House of Representatives, that her pension will most likely be gone if she ends up being convicted of these charges. Can you tell us what the impact is there, what the finances are, and potentially what she's going to lose out of because of this?
She's going to lose more in the pension loss because it's going to be a 6-figure pension annually that is going to be gone by operation of law, and it would be more money than probably she ended up getting in this scheme. And so in some ways, you know, the fraudulent conduct was short-sighted on her part.
The public might have gotten the impression during the trial, they're not really aware all that much of what's involved in your job, but from watching this trial, you got the impression that here was this veteran member of Congress walking around with her hand out all the time. Are you out raising money all the time that you need to tell us about?
Well, the thing is, you know, when you're allowed to raise money for your campaign, you don't raise any money for your personal use. That is a huge, huge no-no, because if that were allowed, then people who had business in front of the Congress could just be cutting people checks, and it would be way worse than it even is now. So, yes, I mean, you know, people do have to raise money because you have to spend money to advertise on your radio or on your TV and other things, but absolutely not. You just do not raise money for personal use.
Gene, you were telling us earlier that you feel this is a dark day, not just for Congresswoman Brown, but for Jacksonville.
Tom, we saw earlier in one of her constituents, one of her friends who was just broken down over this, and we know that all over this city and all over where she has been and the people that she has touched, this is going to be a difficult day. This is going to be a difficult day because a lot of hearts are broken, a lot of her family members, a lot of her friends, and so there is sadness all around. And it's a shame because we know that, as we've just saw a few minutes ago, this is now spreading all over the national news. It's going to be a political issue. We know that everybody's going to be talking about this congressperson who is potentially facing an extensive prison sentence now for defrauding the federal government and lying on her taxes. And so it is for someone who completed and did a tremendous amount for this town to go down the way that she has and to have this jury find her guilty on so many counts. It is going to be a sad day for this town, no matter how you feel about the verdict.
Gene, thank you. Congressman DeSantis, thank you.
Yep.
Kent?
Thank you, Tom and team. Now, remember, you can get all the background of the case on our website. You can watch interviews with Congresswoman Brown, who had always insisted she's innocent, or she is innocent. Go to news4jax.com/trial, and you'll find all that information right at your fingertips.